Hey guys, welcome back to the Mercenary Brush. Today, we're going to answer the question, what happens when D.VA gets brought into the 41st millennium? So we're going to start with Scale 75's Fuchsia through the Infinity CR Plus. I've got a 0.2mm nozzle and I'm using Vallejo's airbrush thinner to thin it down. I use a blister just like Arniel Heraldez does, and I do that so that I can see when there's any impurities or any lumps in the paint. This gives you a good finish and lets you get the consistency you're looking for every time, and you don't have to worry about things clogging up your airbrush. So, in small circular motions with the trigger of the airbrush, you push down and pull back and then move forward again, letting the paint gradually build up. As you can see, we're starting to get some coverage over the sections that I built up using my Zenith Prime job. I used Wraithbone so that I'd get a little bit of vibrancy in that undertone. And now to add some further depth, we're going to add a little bit of blood red to our fuchsia, both from Scale 75 with some airbrush thinner as well. And for this, we're going to add that to all the darker shadowed areas that aren't directly in the light that we were painting before. Same again, slight touches to build up your color over time. There we go, getting a bit closer towards it. So now I'm going to add in fuchsia and Tenere yellow in a 2:1 ratio to start building in more where the highlights will actually fall based on that zenithal priming from before. So if you have to think of the area, you think of the same area that you painted the first fuchsia layer, but smaller and more contained. So we do that again with a 1:2 ratio of fuchsia to Tenere yellow, and we're going to contain that spot even more, and we're going to start looking at points of light rather than just highlights. And final step, Tenere yellow to really bring in some bright spots. Now we're going to add some shading. So we're going to line shade all of the creases in the armor with Sunset Purple by Scale 75. I thinned that down with glaze medium. You can use water, thinner, whatever you'd like. Adding some fuchsia and Tenere yellow to my wet palette. I've got glaze medium on there as well, and what we're going to do is we're going to mix up 3 tones of a mix of these two, 1:1, a 2:1, and 3:1 essentially is what we're going to be looking at here. And we're going to start by using the middle one of those tones to start edge highlighting all the upward facing panels on the armor. You might think the highlights will be too stark in the darker sections, but as long as they're upward facing, catching the highlight will just add contrast and definition to your model. Now, going over the top of the Zenith Prime job we did, we're going to use Boreal Green. And Boreal Green from Scale 75 is somewhat translucent paint. So when we paint it over, we're going to actually end up with an effect that makes it look a little bit translucent. And that is how I'm painting D.VA today. Next episode I'll be painting the weapons in the more metallic areas. But for now, this is a good start of bringing D.VA into the 41st millennium. Thanks for watching.